I want to talk about, though, something we saw last night. I thought it was very interesting watching the game. Penn State versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame coming out with a heck of a win.
Yeah.
Very close, got to the end of the game. Of course, they drive down. Big plays are being made left and right. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish look like they could win the national championship, in my opinion. And because of that, I want to have a conversation around Marcus Freeman, who is somebody who, remember when his name got brought up initially, I didn't think Notre Dame would be in this position. I'm sitting here telling you they're not going to be that kind of team. They're not going to make it that far. We're good on Marcus Freeman.
Same. Yeah.
Now they're here, which means you did something right.
Yeah.
Which means you've coached your team in the right manner to put them in a position to do something that is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And that's win a national championship. Now, I do think they have created some leverage for themselves in some very interesting ways, but that's neither here nor there. But the question that I have is, should Marcus Freeman be a name to watch for the Chicago Bears as their next head coach? And the reason that I bring this up is if he goes out and he wins this national championship, first off, it'll be something that Notre Dame has not seen. I want to say the last natty. Did Tom Thayer win the national championship with Notre Dame? I think he did. I think that's the last.
Did he?
I think that's the last national championship
you would know more than I would.
that Notre Dame has won. I may be wrong on that. I'm not a college savant.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen this season, and I watched a lot of college football these last couple of seasons, Notre Dame, I'm surprised they're here.
Yeah.
I think that they've been well coached. I think defensively, this team has everything that they need. I think you would also be getting one of those young coaches that you could talk about coming into the building and being there for a while, being able to coach with the Kevin O'Connells and stuff like that, who are there long-term, who are much younger, Matt LaFleur's, of course. I think that there is a lot to be said on the job that Marcus Freeman has done to motivate his team, to put them in this position, and how he has coached some of the talent up there that, as many people have said around college football, you didn't believe that Notre Dame have. Now, defensively, they've got one of the best defensives in football, if not the best defense in football. I also think that that could play a big part with what we see here in Chicago, but also the fact that they're not forgetting about the offensive side of the ball. I think that Notre Dame has done a lot of things well. With a list of 17, I'm not saying that he should be the next Bears head coach. What I am saying is he's somebody with the people on this list.
He deserves to be in there.
I'm fine with you throwing him an interview. I'm fine with you throwing him an interview.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I kind of looked past Marcus Freeman. I'm going to be honest with you, for quite a while. But the fact that he has been resilient, this team has pushed through to the national championship, has been nothing more than amazing, nothing less than amazing. The fact that you beat Georgia, the fact that you just came back and beat Penn State when I think you were down 10-0 on a last-second field goal, that just shows the resilience of this team. It shows how hard they play for their coach. And the only thing that's holding him back, I believe, is that he just got an extension in December.
You're gonna have to pay him.
So you're
gonna have to give him that baggie back.
You might have to open up the checkbook if you're going to consider Marcus Freeman for this job. But he's a young, I believe he's 39, maybe.
39.
39. So he's a guy who's young. He's up and coming. He's looks like he everybody that plays for him buys in, and that's what you want. You want a team that even when the chips are down, they're going to fight. They're going to fight until that last second. And that's what this team is. Like you said, they have the best defense, I think, in college football. That's a guy you want to play for. So possibly you bring him in the building for a head coaching candidacy. Yes, I'm better than I would love him more than the Kafkas and the whatever I forgot the guy from
Matt
Georgia.
Campbell.
Oh, the Matt Campbells. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, absolutely. I would put him high and above over those guys. And yeah, I looked over him at first, but I believe that this is a guy who can come in the building and be a leader of men. Now, obviously, he doesn't have any head coaching experience in the NFL, so you're still taking a chance on whether or not that will come to fruition. But the product that you see, the things that you're seeing that are happening at the college level against some of the better competition, it just kind of shows you that this guy probably can do it at the next level.
Yeah, no, and listen, the big thing for me is not that you automatically just give him the job. I don't think that you should do that either. I think that this is a situation where if you're going to take a look at Marcus Freeman, it's because of the successes he has, and because, dare I say, because he deserves to be in the conversation. You make it to a national championship, you win a national championship, you deserve to be in some of that conversation, like the video, if you agree. But I think the big thing for me is some of that buy-in, some of the tough part about a lot of these guys that I do think with the coaching names that we have on this list that we overlook is everything is for Caleb. And I'm not saying everything shouldn't be for Caleb, right? I think that you should be going out there and trying to do as much as you can for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, absolutely.
But whoever comes in here has to bring a team together. Whoever comes in here has the job of fixing a locker room that is definitely segmented in some ways. Whoever comes in here, and I keep saying this, they have the job of resetting a terrible culture that this franchise has a stench on it for a while. Can we say that Marcus Freeman has done that? I look at what he walked into. Remember Brian Kelly being there, right? Mm-hmm. Brian Kelly saying, but which is the funniest thing in the world right now. And Shay brought this out on the Chicago Bears podcast today. Shout out to Shay for filling in. Him and Yurko, absolutely hilarious today on the Chicago Bears podcast. But when you talk about what Brian Kelly said when he left there, Brian Kelly was like, well, it'd be a lot easier to beat the SEC when you're not at Notre Dame. And, you come in here and now you have the means to be able to do this for my family. Remember, he had that random Southern accent when he left.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's in LSU. It's all about my family. What was that? What was that? Why are we talking about that? But for me, I think that you have to have a conversation on Marcus Freeman went into a situation where their head coach left. The system he had put in place left. Everything that Brian Kelly hadn't succeeded at, gone. And he put the program back together.
Yeah.
He got some good pieces to come in there. There's been a lot of changes at Notre Dame. But he's done kind of what we've asked with Brian Kelly leaving the building and moving on to go on to LSU. I think that, to me, that speaks to somebody who is very similar. Now, I know he's a lot younger, doesn't have as many skins on the wall, but if you win a national championship, now you got some skins on the wall.
Yeah, you do.
That's what we praised Jim Harbaugh for. That's what we said we wanted Jim Harbaugh
Michigan,
for.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh walked into a situation. He turned it around. They started winning. Jim Harbaugh did it at what was his first college?
Oh my goodness!
Why am I blanking on his first college? Y'all know in the chat. He first college job, goes in. They're terrible. Dominates. Boom. Now all of a sudden they're winning games. Jim Harbaugh goes to San Francisco. It's falling off. It's over. Oh, we got to fix all of this. We drafted this quarterback number 1 overall. It's done. Alex Smith all of a sudden is a rising star in this league. He's starting to figure things out. Jim Harbaugh comes in. They start winning. They go to a Super Bowl. Stanford, shout out to King Booker World. Shannon as well. Drop that in there. V-Dog as well. Drop that in there. Shout out to y'all. He did it at Stanford with Stanford Cardinals, whose coach I do not want here in Chicago. He's also a name on the list, possibly.
Just everybody.
But you're talking about culture builders. Now, again, he's 39 years old. It's a different situation. But when Jim Harbaugh came in, Jim Harbaugh wasn't 56, 57 years old when he got the opportunity to do it in an NFL level. If you see somebody who can go out there and build a program, I think that is at least worth having the conversation. That is at least worth going out there and talking with him and seeing, hey, can you be that culture builder here? Because that's what this team needs going into next season. We could talk about everything else. We can talk about how the Bears are going to need more offensive linemen. We could talk about how the Bears are going to need a better running game. We could talk about how the Bears are going, all of these things that they definitely need. But they need somebody who can put all of that together.
Here's another thing that I'm kind of overlooking, and I'm starting to think maybe this might actually be a part of what we need as far as the culture shift and the culture change. We mentioned his age, 39 years old. We look at some of these candidates that we're bringing in and some of the front runners like Ben Johnson and Joe Brady, who are young candidates, young and up and coming candidates at the OC position. Is there something to be said about the fact that they themselves can kind of connect a little bit more with some of these players that are now in the league, with all of these young players coming in from college, getting NIL deals, already making money?
Yeah.
Like now it's a different world where these guys have more of a backbone. They have more of a say. the generation has changed from the old way of doing things. And so maybe you need a coach who, leader of men, can change the culture, but also can kind of connect and kind of be like a little bit more on the same level as some of these young guys. He's a guy who's 39. I mean, he's right there with some of the kids that are playing in the NFL. So
yeah.
Does that matter at a certain point too?
Kids,
when it, well, not kids.
He might like the same music.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying.
40, almost 40. You what are you kids listening to? You think he's bumping some NBA young boy? Probably not.
Nah, maybe not. Maybe
I don't think that reaches the same. I don't think this is a Tomlin situation.
Lil Wayne. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, he's definitely bumping everything that we're bumping. Everything that we're bumping, he's bumping.
He's in our age range. Yes. So I'm saying, like, is there that connection that maybe we're overlooking that's important as far as a candidate that can connect to these players a little bit more? Does that matter? And I think maybe it does.
It could be. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I do believe that it's at least worth the conversation, especially with some of the names on here that, let's be real, we don't need half of them.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting here talking. We're doing the whole no stone unturned thing.
Oh, that was hilarious.
You're checking the eggs in the tree.
No water.
Leaves. Checking the water. Somebody literally put on. I posted that on Instagram. Somebody was like, "There's stones in the water, Pat." Like,
oh yeah, I saw that.
Like, how about you dunk your face in there and hold it for a long time? That's what I think of those stones in the water.
Dry stones.
I'm looking for dry stones here. But no, I just think that if you're gonna have conversations with all these people, a guy who's a national championship contender should be on your list in my mind. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have not done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do, man.